So ever since I took a look at the Samsung T3 external SSD, I have been spoiled, and I honestly can't go back to using a mechanical external hard drive anymore. I just can't. It's like when you put your first SSD inside your main build and then you go to access a secondary mechanical drive, you just notice the difference in speed and you get spoiled, and that's exactly what happened with my external drive experience now as well. So I was very pleased when ADATA sent over their external SSD, the very gold SE730. Hello everybody and welcome to Tech Uploaded. I am Chris as always, and I got a simple one for you today, the ADATA SE730 external SSD. Now my love affair with external SSDs continues with this. Ever since I switched over to using one, I have been just so spoiled with it. My performance and Final Cut and everything else is just so much better going that route. This is also a USB Type-C, USB 3.1 device, and I have to say, I'm actually very impressed. I was a little bit skeptical at first because I just immediately fell in love with that Samsung drive. But I have to say, this one definitely has its benefits. So to kind of go over those, let's get up close and personal with this thing, unbox it, and see what makes this a little bit more unique than the Samsung drive. All right, so taking a look at the packaging for the ADATA SE730 250 gigabyte external SSD. You can see it is very reflective and very simple. There's just a little window here to see the actual drive itself, and then of course the very reflective hummingbird up there. I always enjoy that from ADATA. I don't know why. I'm just kind of a sucker for their little logo there. You can see, turning it around on the back, there is a plethora of specs and all kinds of different stuff and many, many different languages. And of course, the hummingbird makes its appearance once again down there in the QR code. Taking a look at the specifications though, you can see this is USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C, although you'll notice that this does come with a Type-C to Type-A cable, which I'll get into in a minute. You've got the speed information actually on the side, and it is claiming read and write at 500 megabytes per second. Doesn't quite get there, but it falls in line with what I've seen from the Samsung drive as well. You can see there is that USB 3.1 Type-C connection on there. It is shock-proof, dust-proof, and waterproof. And the way they pulled that off is kind of the way that they have this thing designed. So in order to get to know this a little better, let's go ahead and dig into the packaging. So just pop up the little door and slide everything out, and you'll see right away you're presented with the user's manual. I'd say not a big fan of these type of user manuals. It's just, they're a big pain trying to get them folded back up again, and it's just give me a book. See, I've already done something wrong and I can't fold this thing back up, so it's trash. Now here is the USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. So you can see you do have the USB-C on one end, USB-A on the other. It is 3.1. But of course, this for my MacBook Pro needs a USB-C to USB-C cable. So I did pick one of those up to do all of the testing. So it is direct USB-C to USB-C. So I really wish that they would have included a USB-C to USB-C cable in here. You know, once you get north of $100, I don't see that being too much to ask if you're going to put a USB Type-C port on the drive itself, especially with a lot of the smaller notebooks now kind of going that route. It's not just Apple. And that was kind of the same beef I had with the Samsung. So taking a look at the drive, you can see this is the gold, and it's very small. I mean, that's the palm of my hand. And to kind of give you a frame of reference, this drive is definitely a little bit smaller. And as far as thickness goes, it may be a little thicker overall, but I don't know, they're pretty close. I mean, they are really close. I would say that the ADATA is definitely more portable. The Samsung feels, for whatever reason, like a higher quality product. I think just because of the soft rubbery feel and just the way that it looks overall. But this drive is best for tossing into a bag or taking with you on the go, and there's one simple reason for that, and it is this. This door right here pops open, and then you have your USB-C port. So that means that when you're carrying this around and you're in an area where maybe there's some stuff in your bag that could get into the port, or you're in an area that's really dusty or something, it says it's dust resistant. All you have to do when you're not using this drive is just pop this cover back on when you're transporting it, and I think that really does help a lot in keeping this thing protected. It feels very solid. It has that aluminum feel to it. There's no flex. Everything on here feels good. It's small, it's portable, it achieves everything that it's supposed to achieve. And this door, it is kind of a double-edged sword. It's kind of annoying when you're actually using the drive to have this door in the way. But at the same time, like I said, if you're someone that carries this thing around with you a lot, I think you're actually going to appreciate having that port covered up so that nothing is getting in there. So ADATA took a little bit of a different approach. It's a nice, small, compact, solid feeling drive. So now let's talk about performance. So it's small, it's durable, it has that nice door on it, it's compact, you can slip it into your pocket, there's really no weight to it. I hope you like gold because that's the only thing I've really seen for sale is gold. Apparently, according to ADATA's website, this is also available in red, but I haven't seen that anywhere. So gold it is, and that's one of my complaints. If you're not a fan of gold, you're kind of stuck with it. At least with the Samsung drive, it was that kind of neutral gray, but again, that's kind of boring. This is a little more flashy. But looks aside, feeling aside, all that stuff aside, it really comes down to numbers at the end of the day. Well, to some extent, but numbers are important. So, how does this thing perform? The Samsung T3 came in at a read speed of 420 megabytes per second and a write speed of 379 megabytes per second. Now, the ADATA SE730 definitely beats it out by quite a bit in read, coming in at 481 megabytes per second, but falls a little bit behind in write at 336 megabytes per second. Now, this isn't an apples to apples comparison because this is a 250 gigabyte drive and the Samsung is a 500 gigabyte drive. So they're not exactly the same as far as the storage capacity and speeds and things like that go. That could make a difference. But I was really impressed how close this actually came to the rated read speed on the box. It said 500 megabytes per second read and write. Write not so much, but read very close to that number, and that's pretty darn impressive, I have to say. Now, between both drives, using them day to day, I couldn't tell any difference, to be honest with you. They both perform very well. I've been using this for weeks, and I've been doing many projects with it just to make sure it didn't do anything weird, it wasn't funky, nothing like out of the ordinary happened, and yeah, it's been fine. There's been no issues. I've also taken this with me on the go, and having this little door really does make a difference. It is nice because you do get little dust and particulates that get in that little USB-C connection, and you kind of have to blow it out a little bit sometimes. You don't have to worry about that when you put the little door on it. Like I said, up close, sometimes it gets in the way, but it's not a huge deal. Now, this is only available in 250 gigabytes right now as of January 2017. I'm sure that'll change. So there's not a whole lot of flexibility. If you like this form factor, that's the size that you're buying. Now with the Samsung, you can go all the way down to 250 gigabytes. You can go all the way up to, I believe, 2 terabytes, but the price really jumps up. Pricing on this right now comes in about $10 more, at least on Amazon, than the equivalent Samsung T3 drive. So you're looking at about $130 for this and $120 for the Samsung. But again, with SSDs, by tomorrow, that pricing has probably changed. So it really just fluctuates and depends and what sales are going on and who's got what deal. So at the end of the day, they're both great drives. I've been super happy with both drives. So I would say buy what you think looks best. Personal preference here. Neither one of them is going to come with a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. That is a downer. You have to supply your own if you're using a laptop that is USB Type-C. But other than that, that's not a huge deal. And if you have one of those laptops, you've probably already bought one of those cables anyway. Or you can use a dongle. But I would say with these prices being so close, the performance being so close, buy the one that works best for you. If you need more than 250 gigabytes, you're gonna have to go up to one of ADATA's other drive options, which they do have in the SSD format. But if you want this nice small drive with this little door, right now 250 gigs is you're kind of stuck with that. But I would say if you don't need a huge amount of storage space and you are going to be throwing this in a bag a lot and taking this on the go, having this little door is pretty nice. So I might give it the edge for that. But really, you can't go wrong with either drive. Both of them have been performing fantastic. What I've been using either one, I honestly can't tell a difference in speed between the two using Final Cut and transferring big files. So I give this one a definite recommendation. This will be in my bag at all times when I travel, just to move files off of my computer if I need to, or just to have that extra little bit of data or extra little bit of storage for data for things like Final Cut Pro and whatnot. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll go ahead and click on that subscribe button. You can also follow me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Tech Uploaded. And you can send me an email at techuploaded@gmail.com or go over to techuploaded.com. And you know the drill. Don't be a stranger. Check back soon.